Hey guys, welcome to Cashify. So today we're gonna talk about the best smartphones for PUBG under rupees 20,000. We're gonna be looking at the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M2, the Poco F1, the Realme 2 Pro, and the Redmi Note 6 Pro. So we are gonna look at each of them. I'm gonna just play on all of them and see what the experience is like, whether there is some lag or it's totally smooth, or like what the graphic is like, if the battery life is great for PUBG and so on. So this is the Redmi Note 6 Pro that you're seeing right now. I'd just like to show you what the battery currently is on this. Okay, so the charge is 64% right now, and I'm just going to be playing it for some time. First of all, the first phone that I'm going to be playing it on is going to set the time limit actually, as far as I'm gonna try to get to chicken dinner, but in case I don't, I'm just gonna try to see if I'm gonna survive for as long as I can. Let's first, before starting to play, let's check it out, the graphics. Yeah, so it doesn't give you the high graphics. I'm gonna open the game. So congrats to me, chicken dinner, as you can see. uh, Yeah, so I'd just like to talk about the experience on this phone. As you can see here, the notch does get in the way. थोड़ा थोड़ा छुप जाता है यहाँ पे. And other than that, let me just take a look at the battery abhi. So yeah, as you can see, the battery is at 55. So I think it was at 64. So that means it's not that much of a drain. It's just 9%. And rest of it, I mean, I just felt it was not an unpleasant experience. There were no lags, and in terms of graphics, I didn't feel much frame drops or anything. I mean, it was a pretty decent experience. So I just like to say, you if you are considering upgrading to this phone, then yeah, go ahead, because this sure gets like a thumbs up from me. So next we have is the Realme 2 Pro, and as you can see, the battery is at 66%. And now we're just going to start playing on this one and see what the experience is like. So as you can see here, the edges are kind of getting cut, right? The cornered edges. And now if you go to the graphics, so it does allow you high. I don't think you can choose anything beyond HD. So I'm just gonna go for balanced here. And yep, let's start. So I didn't win, but I did play here for on this for 20 minutes, more than 20 minutes actually. It could be around 30 minutes. And in terms of the experience, the graphics were nice, really good. There were some frame drops in between, but it wasn't much of an issue. Otherwise, in terms of lags and speed, it was pretty good. I mean, I didn't face any lags, and it's smooth. It was really smooth. uh, I would like to mention something about the heating here, by the way, because I just played it on the Redmi Note 6 Pro, and I didn't even have to mention the heating because there wasn't much, right? But when I played on this, I could totally see the difference within the next, like within the first 10 minutes or so, because it was heating up a lot. If you're playing it at night and you're spending a lot of time playing it, uh, it could be an issue that it heats a lot. But in terms of the graphics, it's really good. Also, lag free performance is something that you can find in this phone. So I would suggest that you see for yourself if you want to use this. Let's talk about the battery here. So when we started, it was 66%. Now if I see, the battery is at 53%. So this is something that I would like to mention, that when I played it on the Redmi Note 6 Pro, I started at 64, then it went to 55. But here, it started at 66 and it ends at 53. It's kind of clear that in terms of battery, it's, you know, not as good as the Redmi Note 6 Pro, but yeah, the graphics really give it the edge that it has. So yeah, it could be a great phone to consider if you want to play PUBG on a phone and that's something that you really look for. You can totally go for this. Okay. And let's move on to the next phone that we have today. It is Poco F1. Before starting the game, I would just want to see the charge that it has. It's 59% charged. And let's see the graphics that it allows. Okay, so it allows you ultra graphics, which is good, and it's HD, so I would like to try it on this. And I'm just going to start the game here. I mean, you might be able to see that the graphics are pretty good. It's really fast and it doesn't lag so much. It's so far really nice. I'm gonna talk more about it as I'm progressing and experiencing what the whole thing is like. I have mentioned it before, but it has some great visuals. I mean, I have to say it again. And there were no lags, there were no freezes, there were no frame drops. It was smooth, the experience was really nice. And in terms of heating, I didn't feel it much, although it was a little bit there, but it was not as much as I felt in the case of the Realme 2 Pro. Now let's check out the charge that it has right now. It's 54, and we started at 59. So, it's actually not bad, even in terms of battery. So, if you have actually heard someone talk about the Poco F1 and how great it is to play PUBG on, they are not lying, because it was good, it was really smooth. Okay, last but not the least, we have the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M2. Uh, I have really heard a lot of people talk about how great the PUBG experience is on this phone, and I'm excited to check it on my own. So let's go ahead. Uh, so currently it has 37% charge, and if I go to the graphics, I can see that it allows you to play it on the high graphics. And let's start. So I've only started playing it and I can already see that there are no lags if you see the graphics in this, and it's looking pretty smooth. The visuals are nice, and so far so good. I'm gonna be talking about it after I'm done with the game. So I didn't make it again this time. I did come close though. So let's check out how much battery it has now. It's 32%. It was smooth. It is not Poco F1, but then again, you'll have to remember that it's not as expensive as the Poco F1 as well. The graphics were really nice. It does give you some good visuals. And if I have to actually rank the graphics in all these four smartphones, then definitely Poco would top the list. But the next phone in line is the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M2. It's not that expensive. It does have some great specs and it doesn't fail to deliver, and that's what makes it such a good smartphone and in the budget segment. So it was a great experience. I got to play PUBG on 4 different phones, which doesn't really happen every day. I would just like to say that you know there are different phones with different specs, so you cannot expect the same experience on all of them. But if I do have to rank them on the basis of the performance, I'll have to say that the Poco F1 really stood out. But you'll also have to remember that it is the most expensive of these, and it has some really high specs if you compare it to the rest of the three smartphones. The next would probably be the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M2. The graphics were really nice on this phone, and I didn't face any lags either. So if you're considering upgrading your phone, and if you're considering buying any of these smartphones or any other smartphones, then go right ahead, and don't forget to sell your old smartphones on Cashify, because you can get the best price there for your phone, at without any hassles and at your doorstep. So it will be a great experience there as well. So until the next time, goodbye, take care.